Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR lady, with my co-host JC.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back. We are talking about hot topics in HR right now. We recently talked about unions, and now we're going to talk about another hot topic in HR, which I think many of you are going to quickly identify with, and this is the topic of providing a psychologically safe workplace. You know, post-pandemic, employees are demanding this. They want to make sure that they're feeling not just physically safe, but psychologically safe in the workplace. What are your thoughts, JC?
It's really important. It is, at the end of the day. If people don't feel safe, they're not going to act safe. They're not going to be productive. You know, employers, they're focusing substantially on individual employees as the world enters this next phase of the pandemic and beyond, right? And there's an attempt to address these very specific demands of each worker along the way. And that's why psychological contracts, an unwritten set of expectations between you and the employee, is so huge. It really is. Employers, you could take that hope. You could make change work. You could take your work culture and create psychologically secure environments in which employees may then collaborate and execute tasks without fear or conflict. And that fear part, Wendy, is so critically important when we want to take the needle in our organization and move it from A to B or all the way A to Z. If you don't have honesty and trust, if you don't feel comfortable, if you're working in a culture of fear, you are never going to move that needle. Never going to move that needle. Oh, it scares me.
Yeah, it really, it's so raw right now. And the other thing, so good and bad. The bad thing is we've all been through a lot the past, I would even say the past 5 years, if not longer. And I think a lot of people are about to go through a lot more because, there are a lot of layoffs dooming, whether that's with big companies or small companies. So we went from work. We can't find enough people to work. We have so much work. And then, okay, there might be layoffs. So people are not feeling safe. They're not feeling financially safe, that's for sure. And they're certainly not feeling psychologically safe, particularly if the company, the directors, the managers are, I don't want to say abusing, but definitely pushing people outside of their comfort zone. So what I like to talk about a lot, and many of you that have been listening today have heard this before, is I always get my clients to create a set of company values, so value statements. And in one of my books, there's actually step-by-step instructions on how to do that.
Which book?
If you're interested. I won't say it because there's probably little ears listening today.
Oh, okay,
and it has a interesting title to it, but it is not the book Suck It Up, Buttercup. It's the other one.
Could I find that on your website, though?
You can absolutely find that on my website or on Amazon. You just Google Wendy Sellers, the HR lady. But, I like to help companies create values, company values, and then use them in everything from hiring to hopefully retirement. And the reason I want to bring this up with the psychologically safe part is, value statements usually have words like be respectful, act professional, do unto others as you would do unto yourself or have them do unto you, excellence, family feel, people before profit, things like that.
Yeah.
Power, bottom line are all also in there, but the values means treating each other like you are a valued member of this organization. You are, we can't do this without you, but we know that you are a human with feelings, which means we're going to make mistakes, but we're all in this together as a team. And the reason I feel this is really important with the psychologically safe part is if you have these values, you might have them already, folks, and you just need to dust them off. Yeah. But please don't just dust them off. Make it a big deal and say, hey, this past couple of years has been hard, and it's going to continue to be hard because we have a lack of staffing and whatever else is going on in your workforce. But the executive member of this team, IHR, our leadership team, our managers say from this moment on, we are going to abide by all of these values, including integrity and professionalism. And if you are not acting in accordance to this, you may be harming somebody else's psychological safety, their feeling of safety, and you will not allow to be in this workplace. I have to tell you, when you say this to somebody and you remove the bad apple from the team, the rest of the team is like, big
sigh of relief,
sigh of relief, and says,
right.
Okay, I was about to quit, but I'm not going to quit because they just stood up for me. Now I need time to recover and regain myself and feel psychologically safe moving forward. But I think many of us have been in the position, and it's sad that I can say this, where we didn't feel psychologically safe at work, and it affects everything. It affects our home life. It affects our mental state, our sleep, our health, everything.
Wendy, you hit the nail on the head. It's exactly where I wanted to go. I love how you bring the human factor to this. It's all things that we can relate to in the way that you present it. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. I'm going to take it back to the textbook for a real quick second here, okay? So look, in a nutshell, psychological safety, it's that concept, the sense that you can freely express your thoughts, opinions, and ideas without fear of being degraded or disgraced. And that's according to Maslow's hierarchy, safety as a basic human need. And if you're not familiar with that, feel free to Google it. Feel free to look up the 5 levels of human needs. At the very top, self-actualization. You move into self-esteem, love and belonging, your friendship, your family, your intimacy, your sense of connection. And then safety and security is almost the base of the pyramid, right? It's your health, your employment, your property, your family, your social stability. And then last but not least, the base of all is your psychological needs, your breathing, your food, your water, your shelter, your clothing, your sleep. If you don't have the basics in place, it all starts to fall apart. It really does. And this psychological contract is not formal and codified, okay? A balanced contract, it demonstrates to employees what their employer recognizes and how they respect them, right, Wendy?
Absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. The biggest thing that, you hit on that really had me going, oh boy, that's it, is the fear factor. I actually just said this at a training the other day. I'm like, if you are managing by fear, you are not managing at all. So please, folks, make sure that you take care of your employees' psychological safety. Make sure you take care of your employees' psychological safety. Make them feel that they don't have any fear, that they can speak up. And I promise you, your employees will be grateful and they will stay with you versus leaving and finding somewhere else to work. With that said, come back tomorrow for episode 3 of the hot topics in 2023. We're going to be talking a little bit more about positivity and company culture. See you soon.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.